evening, everyone. Welcome to another race, Wednesday night racing, Valor Racing League. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I'm Shady Acres, and with me tonight, we got a special guest going to be in the booth. Tonight, we're not going to be in the IRR in-race reporters tonight, as our good friends Sloppy Joe and Rusty Walrus got pulled away with some other things going on. So Rowdy Time and myself are going to be up in the booth tonight. Rowdy, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother? Excited, dude. Excited, 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 man. I love Daytona. Love Daytona. Love Daytona, man. Gonna be hopefully some good fast racing, some good racing. Hopefully we can see that outside line working in, man. What do you think on that? I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. And going in for some news. A couple things happening this week. A little bit, some new updates here. We got some news tonight that Go Fast Jason has moved to part time due to some personal reasons and some other obligations. So he's going to be moving to part time, which moves P. Cola Gator to the number three Chevrolet, part of Aquatati's team. So Go Fast Jason is no longer on that team. So Picola Gator gonna be in that number three Chevrolet on Taddy's team. Chuck, did you hear about that? That should be quite interesting to see how that kind of shake things up a little bit and how those teammates work together. And man, he is a fast racer, man. He is a very, very fast racer. Some other news going on in the league is the Bear and C. Workman are planned to race tonight as part timers. Both ran for Valor Racing League titles in season 2 and 3, and they're going to be back as part timers. So I'm really, really excited to seeing both of those guys, especially the Bear. I know he's been out for a little while, but he is back. So I'm really interested to see how those two guys come on tonight. And especially what you mentioned as far as points. One driver that is not going to be able to battle some points tonight is KD in the number six car. KD is not going to be able to make the race tonight in that famed number six. So we're not going to be able to see that number six out tonight. So we're going to have to see how things kind of shake out with him and the points. Let's take a look at the starting grid. This is a very, very interesting starting grid tonight at Daytona. And on the pole tonight is going to be that number 44, and that's Mike. Mike in that number 44. Man, he is always. Anytime I almost see him, man, he's almost either on the pole or outside pole, or always starting right up there in the front. And man, I mean, Mike is always, always fast. Yeah, he's going for his third straight. He's actually going to start third, and we'll. I know we're getting close to race time. So kind of slide through the field real quick as Mike RPM starting on that pole. Second, starting on the outside is in the 95, one of the 95s. That's DB the best. He's starting on that outside pole in second spot. Clashing, JCR Clashing, as you mentioned, winner of the last two races, going for three straight here. JCR Clashing in the number 51. He's starting third. And just like you said, man, I mean, kind of the starting position almost goes out the window, especially here at Daytona. You got three stages, you got all kinds of stages. Probably might want to see a caution or two here. So, I mean, everything's going to be. I mean, that draft just, especially you get a green flag stop. That could throw a little wrench into some guys' plans with some green flag stops. But JCR Clash in that 51, he's going to start third. Slade in that number 21 Wood Brothers, he's going to start fourth. Jason in the 43, he's going to start fifth. DK starting sixth in the number 7 car. It's Your Bro Chase, he's going to be starting seventh in the number 14. Ingletown, he gets a good starting spot tonight. He's looking for a bounce back race, starting eighth in that number 18 Toyota. And then there's JCR JWoww starting ninth as he's look to see him obviously team up with Clash, and as those guys are going to go to the front, and especially one of their other teammate Ingletown. So you got those three teammates right there in that top 9. So my eye is definitely going to be on those JCR boys, especially with Ingletown. I mean, Clashing, those JCR guys have been so fast, so fast. Especially get 3 of them hooked up, man. It could be something else to see. Starting 10th in the number 4 is Cybers, starting in the number 4 Ford. Aquataddy starting 11th in the number 8 car. Koala, he gets a good start tonight in his number 25 car, and it's starting 12th. Flash starting 13th in the number 5, and watch for Flash also. I can see, I mean, he's a very, very fast himself, very good racer. He should be starting 13th. And those are the guys, I believe, that were in qualifying. So, these other guys, Perky in the 88, P. Cola in that 3, Big D in the 2, Celtics in the 22, Favre in the 17, Brennan in the 16, and of course, the Bear is going to be in the number 13 car. C. Workman will be in the number 2 car. So those guys I think they get the provisional, so they'll be after everybody. And we are getting the join here, Rowdy. So let's get the join and let's go racing, brother. As we're loading in here. As we are starting to load in here, as getting ready to go green. And here we go, and we are doing just that as they are, everybody's all getting all bunched together, getting in the starting spots here, and taking in a pace lap. So, man, Daytona, and you kind of mentioned this, with this draft in effect, and, a lot of times with these races, we see just that one single file snake line on the bottom. Of course, a lot of times, you get a lot of talk with these guys want to try to get that high side going, if you can get, maybe 4 or 5 cars really, really committed to the outside groove, I agree with you, man. I think we can see some really, really awesome racing tonight. And I think you hit the nail right on the head, and I believe that tonight that these drivers and these individual teams are allowed to be in their own private Discord as we go green, and Mike jumps out to a shot out of a cannon right there off of the start. Mike RPM in the 44 jumps out to an early lead. Didn't get much of a challenge by the best there in the 95. Of course, I think his, he had a little bit of help from the 21 of Slade, letting them get down to that bottom and not letting them get trapped to the outside. As we see Mike now kind of moving up the track, that might be kind of pre-planned. Let these guys go and maybe try to, just like you said, man, try to find some teammates here. Especially just like you said, man, I couldn't agree with you more. Hit the nail on the head again, man. At stage one, here early in stage one, just like we're seeing, these guys getting single file, being very, very patient. No need to push the envelope. As we see here, kind of towards the back, these guys want to try to maybe get a few positions. As we got we got up into the wall as that 13 car. That's the Bear in the 13 following the 25 of Koala. Got up into the wall just a little bit. A little bit of shaking going on here towards the back. Now they get dropped back in line. They get right back in line here. That is the 95 of the best. He was our leader. As he has got shaken up to the high spot. You're right, he got shaken up to the high spot. Definitely going to go all... And just like you said, that check up there in the front, that definitely shuffled some guys around. Clashin was right up there. They went 3 wide for a second, but as things that he got caught out to the outside, and now he's got funneled all the way back here behind Chase, and so he was a big loser in that, as he's now tucked in right in front of his teammate JCR JWoww. So JWoww let him in and stopped him free falling like a rock, but definitely shook some things up. And as we saw on that outside, just like you were saying, man, is that number 13 car of the Bear. The Bear took that outside and that momentum, and now he's now strung out to the outside, but he took that with the 7 car all the way up to the front, as he's now up there battling for 5th. So we saw that, I mean, these guys just totally flip-flop, but you're right, we have to keep an eye on It's Your Bro Chase in that 14, as that second pack now is just not able to keep up with that lead pack with him in the front. As you said, man, with that accordion effect, man, it's very, very tough. As we see the Bear get up into the wall and kiss it for good luck. There goes Bear underneath the lead. And he's moved his way back up to 4th. And look at a very impressive run already by that number 13 car of Bear. And Bear, obviously you see exactly what his strategy was coming into this race. As he started towards the back and he's already up into the front, he was very, very aggressive getting to the front. He wanted to get back to the front, flex a little bit of muscle, say, hey guys, here I am back. And he's trying to make a statement, putting that 13 car out into the lead as early as he has. As we see that outside line, they got some guys there, but just not able to get a run, as there's more cars to the inside than there are to the outside. And the guys kind of looking like they're kind of letting that outside. They're kind of not having that trust on the outside yet. Not having that trust, so they keep on wanting to test the outside waters, but then diving back down as they kind of see a car get underneath of them. And as you see here, the whole outside line has completely just about fizzled out and dissolved back into the single file line. As we see, look at that, the 25 now, a Koala hanging all by himself out to dry. Not a single person out there with him. So he is definitely going to go out to the back and follow. He slides in right there. And kind of looks like he may have cut Slade off, or that's the 88, actually. But, hey, no harm, no foul. You got to get in line. Sometimes you have to say, kind of, rub a fender or two to get back in line, to prevent that free fall. Ooh, man. And as he stood right behind the 16, who was our leader, and that's Brennan. And you saw those two guys hooked up with It's Your Bro Chase on the outside, took him to the front, and Brennan and Slade made perfect timing and made the move and shot right down underneath of Chase and grabbed that lead and second spot respectively, hung Chase out to dry a little bit. You know, that might come back and bite him, you know, so Chase might remember that down the line, so we'll have to kind of see. I mean, you know, you always want to make friends here, but you try not to want to make enemies if you can't help it. You know, who knows what's going to happen come stage 3 at the end of this race when, hey man, that move could come back into play at a track like Daytona. Oh! Wow, he hit the wall hard too. And you gotta wonder if that kind of hard hit caused any kind of damage possibly to the outside, as he is falling all the way back to the tail end of the line, and he's having trouble. We're going to see if he can hold on to the draft, and kind of wondered if he may have gotten a little bit of damage, how hard he hit that wall. As we're riding with Chase now on the front of his car, it looks like he's going to be able to, he's able to hold on to that draft, but he got a little bit lucky losing that draft as far back as much as he hit that wall, and as much momentum as he lost. That could have been dead, as we see right here, right in front of him. The 88 and the 22 make some contact, and It's Your Bro Chase is going to take advantage of that and get two positions real quick. But as we I couldn't agree with you more, man, especially the aggressiveness. And it's kind of, I mean, you know how it is with these plate tracks is, you know, there's got to be give and there's got to be take. You know, it goes both ways. You know, that door swings both ways. There's got to be give and take. And if you're, you know, constantly taking and taking and taking and taking and not doing much giving, I mean, just like you said, man, that could come around and bite you come in the third stage when you need that push. And, you know, the guy behind you says, hey, you know, remember what happened in the first stage? You're not getting a push from me, my friend. So, like you said, man, we'll have to check that out. But, you know, I can, you know, Barrier stepped away. I know he hasn't been around, you know, especially in VRL. And he's back here and being a part-time driver. And, you know, he wanted to, you know, I can see where, you know, you want to make a statement. You know, you're back. You want to flex a little muscle. You want to make a statement and say, hey, guys, I'm back and I can race with y'all. But there's kind of got to be that fine line between that and being a little over-aggressive and kind of losing respect almost before you even gain it. So, Just like you said, man, we're going to have to keep an eye out for that and see how that kind of plays out. As now you see the whole field has there's that snake line, so to speak. Single file all the way down on that yellow line. These guys keeping those left side rubber wheels right on that yellow line, not trying to bring it up off of it. And I mean, I got to be honest with you, Rowdy. I mean, when it comes to these plate tracks, that's where it's at. And I've been, knock on wood, pretty successful at these plate tracks myself. And people also said, just out of curiosity, why are you such a bottom feeder here at Daytona or at Talladega? Why are you, quote unquote, such a bottom feeder? And as we got the right in the front is that as you said, that accordion effect. Slade got a little bit of momentum into Brennan, got him a little bit wiggly. But what my answer to it is that if you're on the bottom, 100% of the time, somebody is going to be behind you to give you a push. Whereas if you're on top, you pretty much can almost think, you got a 50-50 shot, and a 50% shot that somebody's going to even stay with you or drop to the bottom. Whereas if you're on the bottom, 100 times out of 100 times, somebody is going to be behind you to give you a push. So that's kind of my philosophy with it. As we see a kind of a lead change here, as Brennan now moves up the track, it comes right back down in front of Slade's nose. I don't know if you could fit a sheet of paper in between those two guys' bumper, but he made it work, as Slade is all over Brennan and in his back seat. Way up in there. Very fair question to ask, and very might be well what's been going on. I mean, and as this time we have 10 laps to go now in stage 1. So with 10 laps to go in stage 1, with that interval as it is, I mean, a very fair question to ask, because with these guys, there's 10 stages left with that interval that you see right there on the screen. That it's such a large interval now that I mean, because maybe 3 or 4 laps ago, my thought would be, okay, I don't necessarily want to work with this guy. I might, okay, he rubbed, he not like how we got to start off on the race, but I pretty much have no choice, because if I don't stay behind him, then this is going to be the result, and I'm only going to lose time to those 4 guys that are nose to tail up in that first pack. So it's I mean, especially these guys not getting side by side, staying in that single file line, that it's going to be, as these guys are starting to get racy back here now. Look at this, Rowdy. I think you were. I think you hit the nail right on the head, as you saw these 4 just went right around them, as maybe, like you said, man, I mean, these guys just were rubbed the wrong way. As you see now, these guys, look at these guys getting to the top now. As we run. Well, that's what I'm wondering, if, by being so aggressive, maybe leading some of the race, if he did burn up a little bit, because they're right on the money. We have 7 laps to go, and some of these guys, as you know, still should have about 8 laps left of fuel. So most of these guys pretty much should make it. As we're riding with J-Well, who's right behind Clash now. So these guys are hooked up, the JCR guys, as they have the whole second line. So now we're going to see if the JCR guys can catch up to that front pack. As there's the interval there. Yep, here comes. Yep. Mike RPM. Yep, we got a couple guys. Koala, Mike RPM. Chase, he's down pit road. Couple of guys down pit road. The 22 of Celtics. Yeah, with definitely. So most. With him now as Merck's back up on the track, but like you said, I mean, I don't know, maybe because, I mean, you do have to come all the way around to the backstretch to before you're able to merge, so that's a long way around. As you can see, here comes the entire field coming up right behind him. But like you said, I mean, I don't know if there's an issue or if he was trying to really try to get it around that corner and just kind of lost it. You know how, you know, riding on that apron, it can be a little tricky getting around that apron and get back around. As we see now, the whole field starting to come around him now. The whole front has jumbled around, as now JCR Clashin is first, and his teammate J-Wow is now second. And I can tell you right now, those guys, they're going to have enough to make it. I can promise you that. They'll be able to make it here all the way to the end. And flashing right there, as we got to battle up to the lead and up into the wall. As I believe that was the stage. So it came, these guys, they got a little racy there at the end of the stage. As I'm watching the replay here, trying to find out who got this stage win. As Clashin went up and J-Wow stayed at the bottom. And it got really, really racy. So Clashin gets stage 1, J-Wow gets second, DB DeBest gets third, Kill It Like Jason gets fourth, Flash 9 and fifth, Favre gets sixth. Let me see who got seventh here. And the Man Perky gets seventh, Aquatati in eighth, DK Brown in ninth, and P. Cola Gator comes home in 10th, as those guys got real racy there at the end of stage 1, as we are going to kick things off in stage 2, and JWoww started on first, and not how those guys wanted it, as as Clashin was on the outside, JWoww was on the inside, and as you know, man, I mean, you're on the outside on these restarts, unless that you're able, like we saw on right off the green flag, unless you kind of have a teammate that'll open that door for you, you're just stuck on that outside and hope for the best that you got guys behind you to kind of keep you up there as much as you can until you're able to get down to that low side. Question is like we saw, just as I was getting ready to say, will these guys commit? And as soon as I was saying that, the 22 of Celtics dive back down to the inside, as they've got the, only 4 up top, and they just can't get enough guys to really trust that outside line. I mean, you have to trust it, you have to have confidence in it. As we see JWoww now moving up, looking to try to break that draft a little bit maybe, or he's actually just going to ride back to the back and pick up his teammates back there. He's going to relinquish the lead to the 43 car of Kill It Like Jason. So Kill It Like Jason going to swing out to the lead. Flash in the number 5. He's going to be in second. That 88 car in third, and the 88 is the man Perky. Having a good run so far off of the start. Oh yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier to get down in the inside with 1 car. It's a lot harder to get down there with 2 cars. As you see, these 2 guys went all the way back, but and that's also part of this. Might be some of the strategy with these guys. And I mean, I know quite a lot of these guys quite well, especially JWoww. He was he just recently coming off a championship at FTR, the A-League over at FTR, and I was doing a broadcast over there. He and Clash and a lot of these guys were racing. We saw contact with a 25 car. And that was certainly not what the 25 of Koala wanted, as he is now all by his lonesome self. Nobody around him, no help, no nothing. So he's just going to be there for a long ride around stage 2. With that contact that made and lost all that momentum. There's some guys in the back that also may have caught some of the ripple effect, as It's Your Bro Chase also, he may got caught up in something because he's all by himself as well. Nobody around him. Yeah. all by himself too. So a lot of things playing out here as we see now Slade jump to the top side, looking for that lead as he's now got Flash, who was second. He's jumping to the lead, so these guys are trying to push the lead. Slade gives him a big push, and he's able to get around Jason. The Yep, and yes, he is. And Slade and Flash timed it perfectly with that little slingshot move. Had the momentum with the two of them. They made it work and got around Jason to get 1 and 2. That 88 car, he saw what was going on, but just one car too many and 1 second too late, possibly. As you're right, he's able to kind of slide back in the line, but definitely lost some spots. But a lot of strategy being played here. You know, kind of like what I was saying. You know, with some of a lot of these guys, I got to see close up. You know, Mike RPM. You know, a couple guys, Slade. You know, quite a few of these guys actually were in that FTR, and I can tell you now. I mean, these guys. You know, when they're at practice, they're not just practicing to set up their cars, but they're actually practicing the actual laps of the actual stages and everything. So they know exactly how much fuel they have, how much fuel they're burning when it's just 2 cars, how much fuel they're burning when they're out front, how much fuel they're burning when they're in a pack of cars. So a lot of these guys, like these JCR guys in particular, they practice this. So a lot of things that they do are orchestrated to where they know hey, you know, we'll relinquish the lead. We don't care because we know what we got in the fuel, and we may have saw that at the end of stage 1 as everybody pitted. Those guys stayed out, and boom, they're 1 and 2 in the stage. So we're interesting to see now with this stage to see as far as what strategy plays with all these guys. You know, Slade and, you know, Pico, Gator, a couple of these other guys, especially Flash 9, who's now out in the lead right in front of Slade. So really going to be interesting to see how a lot of these strategies start to play out as this race wears on. And the 16 into the wall, he bounced off the wall. Yeah, I couldn't be right, and I couldn't agree with you more. And especially with this league, these guys are just so good, so experienced. You got pro league guys in here, pro league caliber guys in here. These guys are so experienced and so good. I mean, this isn't their first rodeo. To know to know when to make moves and this, that, and the other, but also, just like you said, kind of testing some waters as far as these cars around them, as far as what moves they can make and when they can make it. I mean, these guys are just so good that they know that, 9 times out of 10, these moves will work, but will they work against these kind of caliber drivers? And we're, as we're starting to see now, that inside line is starting to flex its muscle when you have so many cars. I mean, when Slade was up there, he had 4 cars. Brennan, he came off of turn 4, had a little too much speed, whacked the wall. He goes back to the end. Now they only had 3 cars, and 3 cars just not going to have the momentum to keep up with that inside, of 8, 9 cars that are there on the inside, as we see JWoww and Clash now in the back. They're moved up now, as they're going to start moving up and catch the 95 and the 17, as Favre in that 17 trying to lead it, as now the 95, he jumps down, and so does the 17. So they found a hole, and they went down. So we've got a couple guys here in the back. Mike RPN moving up. The 16 of Brennan moving back up. How will it work? I'm going to keep an eye on these 4 guys back here. Let's see. Starting from the back, let's check this out. Let's see these 4 guys in the back. Let's see if they can keep it, as now the 3 car moves up to join them. So let's see how good of a run. Yep. And now the 43 of Jason up front. He moves up top, and look at Mark all the way up now to 5th. Oh, he had such a run. Gave the 43 and gave him a nice little shove. Like we said, look at that. Just not even 1 lap. They went from the back and now all the way to the front in 1 lap. Absolutely. And they've muscled around a power move. The outside just powered it. But now the 43 and the 44, it's common to see that. So common that you get out front, you clear that leader, you drop right down, and the other guys are hung out to dry a little bit. So they constantly see that. I gotta say that I've made that move quite a few times myself. When you get that run and you finally clear that leader, you're gonna drop down to make that block and to get that push. As we saw just now with the 44, he used that line and got him all the way to the front. And as soon as he cleared the 5 car of Flash, he came right down, and now it's that 4 car up top, the 4 cars up top, and I think you're gonna start to see, unless they can get another car or 2 and get a little bit more horsepower up there, I think they're gonna start to slowly slide on back. And this time by, we got 9 laps to go. This time by, so we got 9 laps to go, and it's going to be interesting to see who pits, who doesn't pit. How does this draft work out? I mean, if you're able to stay in that draft, you're able to save you know, a lap or two of fuel just by getting off the throttle. Like you said, that accordion effect. Use that accordion effect in that draft to your advantage and maybe save that 1 or 2 laps of fuel. That'll get you to the end, as we're going to now come to 8 laps to go here in stage 2. So we're going to have to keep our eye on who comes down pit road and who doesn't come down pit road, as we're starting to come to the end of stage 2 here. Absolutely, man, absolutely, and that's what I was saying earlier. Oh, the 43, and Killer Like Jason was the leader. He got way high, opened the door, and Mike RPM and Flash are going to walk right through it. I think he made a mistake. I don't know if he got caught rear view driving, or maybe what just happened, got a little bit complacent, but went right up the track to open the door, and now he's fallen all the way back. Oh, we got a wreck in the wall, the 3-car around. Big wreck in the back. I thought it was. I guess it was it the 8? I thought it was the 3, but I think you're right. I believe it was the 8 car. The 8 car is not. And he's just now trying to get up to speed. That is going to be a caution. This could make things interesting, Rowdy, because we were just talking about who had enough fuel to make it to the end. So this could get, things now can get real interesting to see who's going to come down pit road and who's going to stay out for these last few laps. We got some takers. Some, no? Yep. The 8 car. The 3 car, Piccola down. Now this is a manual caution. This isn't an in-game caution. This is an actual manual caution. With as many cars that got tied up. So this is a manual caution. The 13 down pit road as well. That's fair. So this caution could definitely help some, but not help all. As we're gonna have about, looks like when we go green, we're gonna have 1 or 2 laps to go in stage 2. So obviously everybody that's out here is gonna have enough for fuel, because obviously if you didn't, obviously you would come in to have gotten fuel right now. Now here's a question, that I kind of was, sometimes wanting to give me your thoughts on this. When the caution just came out, when it came out, would it may have kind of been a good idea to come pit get 4 fresh tires, top off your fuel, knowing that, okay, so what? If you're not in that top 5, if I'm not in that top 5, as we're getting ready to go green, and the pit get 4 fresh tires and load of fuel, restart, go finish the last 2 laps, get to the end of the stage where everybody will pit, and then you're going to come out in first or second, or at the front of the field, starting stage 3. Especially as with this time by, there's 2 laps to go, and especially, kind of like you said, I was kind of thinking about that, but, just like you said, I mean, also taking into effect, that was our first caution of the race, so it's not like we've had, quite a few cautions where you can play that into effect, so if I'm thinking, okay, we've only had just our first caution, so chances are, if I'm rolling dice on it, chances are we might have another caution, but probably not. As we're now down to the last lap of stage 2, Flash 9 out front, Mike RPM second. As we are in stage 2, coming to the end, this is the last lap. Flash 9 looking to... Here we go. Mike jumps to the outside. Nope. Flash 9 is going to be able to get it. Wow. Man, these guys are putting on a show, man. Woo. There's some dynamite racing, I can tell you that. As I'll give you the running order of stage 2 here in just a second. As Flash 9 takes stage 2, followed by DK Brown in second, Mike RPM third, Eneltown in fourth. A great run for Eneltown tonight, and coming home fourth in stage 2. Favre gets fifth, JWoww comes home sixth, Slade gets seventh, the Man Perky gets 8, Clashin gets 9, and Celtics rounds out the top 10 for stage 2. And look who's starting out front. There's that 3-car, Picola. So, is that he just used a strategy I was wondering about, where he just pitted right there at that caution, and here he is, stayed out, and now he's going to start the leader. But like you were saying there, Rowdy, he's going to have 2 less laps worth of fuel, especially being out in front where he's going to burn a little bit more. So we're going to have to see if that kind of plays in his benefit, or, like you were saying, man, did he just put maybe a nail in his coffin? The 7 is staying on the bottom, and as their Bro Chase jumps right down behind him as DK in that 7, following right behind Eneltown in that 18 car. And Eneltown is having a great run tonight. Very good run tonight by Eneltown. Aquatati might be once thinking that same thing, as he's now our new leader now, as he's jumped out front. And power move, man. Power move. Nothing but power coming off that 21. Went right around Aquatati and took that lead. I mean, and he took it. He just took it right away. I mean, straight power. As he's now our new leader. And Slade gonna lead this whole line. Single foul. Flash is having a great run tonight again, like you were saying, man. Flash right there up in third spot, having a great run. Looking good. A couple of these guys, I really like seeing a lot of these guys up here, man. Eneltown in that 18, he's having a great run. You know, like you were saying, I mean, these plate tracks, a lot of these plate tracks, they really give you that chance to, you know, to really... to get that win, you know, like you were saying, you know, especially in this kind of a league, when you have this kind of talent and this kind of skill and just experience, you know, as we see Slade right up top and give that lead back, and Slade all by himself now up top, nobody with him, and he's going to drop like a hot rock all the way to the back with nobody at all. Not sure if that was planned or if he made a mistake and slid up, but he went all the way back, almost all the way back to the very back. Right. As of right now, especially being out in the lead. Because when you're out in the lead and you got that thing floored all the way down, you're not able to save any fuel. Like if you were in a drag, like you were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, with that accordion effect where you're able to let off, when you get that run of momentum, you're able to let off and save that lap or two of fuel. You're not saving any when you're out front. So he's definitely not even a chance going to be able to make it as long as these other guys. And if he doesn't have help from that 3 car and he has to pit by himself, that could have put a nail in his coffin. Just like you were saying, man. I mean, it's very interesting to see how these strategies are really going to start playing out, especially now we're in stage 3. And all these guys are kind of single file. Wondering if kind of these guys are now starting to work, just kind of ride a little bit. We're in stage 3. As now Aquatati kind of moves up, opens the door for Flash 9. I think he did that for the exact reason, maybe as I was saying, knowing that he's got to get in line. He can't be leading it. So here comes Flash and the whole line of cars. He's got the 95 of, that's the best, and that 95 car right on his heels and giving him a push, with Favre in the 17 behind him and Kill Like Jason behind him. And there's Eneltown in that 18 and getting back up into the top 5. Very good run for him, man. A very good run. He's had a treacherous start to this young season, so it's good to see him have a good run, man, and get some momentum. Get some momentum on his side. I think you're exactly right. And looking at it, we actually have a couple of cars who have taken it to the garage here, and that is the 25 of Koala has taken it to the garage, unfortunately, and also the 13 of the Bear. So the Bear has taken it to the garage as well as the 25. So both of those cars have had to take it to the garage and unable to carry on. So there's two less cars, and you know that'll be interesting to see how that plays out with those guys, especially that 13. He was a topic of our broadcast a little bit in the beginning of the race. So not exactly sure what happened. Like you said, he looked like he had some issues. He got caught up maybe in something, and maybe had some other mechanical issues or something, dropped back. So either way, those two guys out of the race. So that, that's two less cars that are in this field. Very interesting thought, man. It could be right as rain. I mean, very, very good point. We have to see that because, I mean, we have seen some guys will get up to the lead, lead a couple laps, and then just slide on up and open the door and just say, "Hey, go on by. I don't want to have it floored all the way and burn up my fuel." So that's very interesting, and to see these strategies, man. As this time by, we have 21 laps to go. So everybody is definitely going to have to pit this stage. So come heck or high water, everybody's going to have to pit. With 21 laps to go, everybody's going to have to pit probably in about 15 or 16 laps. Everybody will be pitting in another 15 or 16. So things are going to start to really get interesting here in the next dozen or so laps. Especially if you're single dingle. If you lose a draft partner, just like you said, coming out of the pits, and you come out of that pits and you're single dingle, you are a sitting duck, my friend. Without any help here, you will be a sitting duck, no question about it. Especially by the time the pit stops are all said and done, there's still probably going to be about a half a dozen laps when pit stops are all said and done. So, I mean, if it worked out to where you'd be able to pit and only had maybe a half a lap or one lap, by yourself, maybe you'd be able to get there by yourself. But not when there's going to be about 5 or 6. You're going to be a sitting duck. So, just like you said, man, getting on pit road can be a little tricky sometimes. I mean, even though you have such a long straightaway right there to slow down and get into pit road. You know, like you said, man, if there's a lot of guys kind of pit at the same time, time and time again, you know, we'll see guys get punted, you know, and get a speeding penalty or get punted and get sideways and run into the wall. Anything can happen. So with these pit stops that we're about to see here coming up in the next couple of laps, things are going to really get interesting. I mean, you know, the strategy, do you try to short pit a lap or two? Do you try to time it a lap or two? Do you want to stay out longer? Really going to be interesting, especially when you see these guys, you know, the teammate aspect really play in, and if these guys are on the same page. And then, you know, not just about pitting, but what do you do when you get on pit road? I mean, if there's only, you know, a handful of laps left, do you just take fuel? Do you take rights? Do you have to take 4? I mean, what, you know, I mean, we're really going to start getting into the thick of things here in the next, probably the next 12 or 13 laps. I was just wondering that the same myself. I think they had to have pitted, honestly. I think they had to have pitted because Flash was our leader. Of course, now the 95 of the best, I believe, is the leader with Favre in second. Actually, no. Those guys actually are 1 and 2. Believe it or not, yeah. 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 That's what I was thinking, the same exact thing as you were, man. I was like, they had to have pit, as in now they're things against red, but yeah, just like it was like those guys had to have pit, but then you know, looking at some of the stream and the positions, that no, actually they didn't. Kind of, I mean, that just shows that the muscle that Mike has, and we saw it earlier that you were speaking of earlier, Rowdy, that that 44 had some real strong car, a lot of muscle. As we saw him earlier on that high side, but he was hooked up with that 22, and they tried to check out for sure. And they almost did. Now the whole field back to that single file. Looking through, not much. These guys, I think now they're starting to buy their time, as we're going to have about 10 to go until we're going to have some major pit stops going on, as Mike in that 44 out into the lead with Celtics in second, Kill Like Jason in third, Flash in fourth, Ingletown in fifth. The 7 of DK in sixth, Chase in seventh, Aquatati in eighth, J-Well ninth, and Clash in 10th. That's your current top 10. Subject to change. Starting to get down to the wire here. I think we're really going to start to see some guys starting to go. Especially if you're in that back half of the field. With that back half of the field, you know, I mean, every point is going to matter. Every point matters coming into this race. You know, these going to be interesting to see. You know, if you're in that back half, do you try to get maybe some guys hooked up and try to get a run to the outside, or do you kind of play it and maybe stay single file? Yeah. This time by, we have 9 to go. And here we go. Oh. 43 out front. And I've been sitting here doing the math, Rowdy. I'm sitting here kind of doing the math on it as the fuel wear throughout the race with some of these guys, and I'm wondering, I think you're gonna see probably maybe a couple guys being able to make it. Looking at the math that I've been doing here. That we're 8 to go this time by, and the way if you haven't led the entire race or this entire stage, if you haven't led and you've stayed in the draft in the pack and able to save, I think there's going to be a guy or two be able to make it to the end. I think things are gonna about really get interesting. I think you're gonna see maybe a guy or two try to stretch it. We got 7 laps to go. So with 7 laps to go, I think you're gonna see some guys roll some dice here, Rowdy. I think you're gonna see some guys roll the dice and go for it. And look at that top side now. The JCR guys up top. You got J-Well, Clashin, and then the other 95 car of DB the Best. As DB now tucks back on the inside. And Clashin and J-Well stuck on the outside as here comes Clashin. Now jumps down to the inside. And J-Well comes down in front. There's your teammates on there, so they kind of knew that was coming. But I think, watch these. I think we're gonna start to see. I think we're gonna see some guys stick out here. I think some of these guys can make it. I think they kill it like Jason, our leader, Flash in second, and Eneltown with an excellent run in third. To get real interesting here. I'm wondering to see, I think we're down to about 5 to go now. I think it's 5 to go this past time by, so I think we're on 5 to go. It's going to be interesting how this plays out here. We've only had 1 caution, and that did come out right there at the end of stage 2. So could we have a caution come out and really throw a monkey wrench into this thing. I would kind of agree with you. And here they look in the back as Favre now jumps to the outside with a little bit of help. And I'm just wondering, you know, especially, you know, with these guys mid-pack on back, as we're starting to see some jumbling. And that's what I was just about to say, Rowdy. Now it's kind of go time. And guys going to start to go for it as Ingletown now stuck on the outside with the 7 car of DK. You know, I was just about to say that, man. With now we're starting to get to go time. We're under 5 laps to go. So, you know, one mistake, you know, when you get these cars bunched up like this. And here comes JWoww and Clash, and they're now on the bottom. They're underneath the 7 car, following right behind Chase. Jason in that 43, he's going to stick on that bike. He's made his bed down there on the oh no, he moved up. And just opened the door. Oh, he just came back, tried to break that draft. Oh, that was a little close. As Jason in first, the 7, and they're getting squirrely up top there. Coming down at the end here. That's what I was wondering. And we got a caution. Or was that the end of the race? That is trying to get coming down to the end here and see what happened. That is the end of the race. That is it. It came to the end. Kill It Like Jason gets the win. It's Your Bro Chase gets second. JWoww gets third. Clash in fourth. DB the Best gets 5th, Favre in 6th, DK Brown in 7th, Ingletown 8th, the Man Perky 9th, and Aquataddy in 10th. When things started to get so interesting, these guys got counted down laps. I didn't even realize that the lap count. Well, congratulations to the 43 car of Kill It Like Jason, your winner here at Daytona. Held on. Talk about a finish. Now these guys sure took it all the way to the end. Another exciting finish here at Valor. And let's see if we can get some of these guys for a quick interview. There's Jason, and we need It's Your Bro Chase and JWoww. There's JWoww, and just need just waiting for Chase to come on in, but we got two of the three our, our finishers. Man, what a race this was definitely one heck of a race. We got our third place finisher, JCR JWoww, coming home third, man. Congratulations. I know that's not exactly what you wanted. I know you were looking for that dub tonight, man, but third place, man. Good run, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We had a good points day today, so I'm proud of my team.
All right, so give us your rundown on those last couple of laps, man. I saw you guys were there, right there in the middle of the pack, and saw you and Clash and hooked up all race long. Kind of walk us through there. Those last couple of laps, man. It got real exciting when you guys got down to that bottom.
Yeah, we were just riding around the draft, and for the most part. And once we got up to the front, then we just started try to manage the draft and try to get some runs by other people. But some runs didn't work, some runs did, and that's how we got up to the front. We were just trying to take runs if we can, and the others just try to ride.
Now, I saw at the beginning of stage 3 that you started out in the front, and then we saw you drift drift back to the back. Was that completely just planned? Saw that you just stayed right there in the mid pack in that draft. The entire stage of that last stage in stage 3. Was that all strategy as far as the whole fuel and how many laps there were in the end of the stage and how all that played out?
Yeah, it was, every single stage was a fuel stage, but I think stage 2 is more or less of a fuel stage. So I say about 99% of the field was good on fuel for that stage. So it was more racy, and that's what ended up causing that caution at the end. But at the end, stage 3 was the most of this fuel saving, so we had to save 33 laps, or we get about 23 laps of tank, and we had to get to 33 to the end of the stage, and we were good with about 7 to 10 to go. I was waiting more on Clash and just give me the okay when to make the move, and we got the okay, and we started making moves, and we got up to P3, I believe, and we just stayed there. We kind of just stalled out. We couldn't really find a run after that, because we also had cars on our outside, so we couldn't really back up to get a run, so we're just stuck to the Texas bumper at the end.
Congratulations on getting the third place, man. Like you mentioned in the points, you came into the race third in points, which was you're actually tied for second. Looks like in the points, you're tied with 136 points with Slade. Is this gonna put you? Do you think this will put you in the second spot behind your teammate Clash?
Uh, yeah, I think Clashing was mainly close near me for every single stage, so I expect him to still be the points leader. I think we'll get up to P2. I believe me and Slade were tied for second in points, but
yeah, you're tied at 136. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had one more top 5 than me, or top 3, so that's what gave him the tiebreaker. But yeah, I believe we had a great points day, so we should be on top or somewhere near P2. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Congratulations, man. Job well done. Like I said, talking to you before the race, I know you wanted that W, man. I know you wanted that win, but hey, take it when you can get it, man. P3, heck of a points day. Congratulations on getting that top 3, man.
Yep, appreciate it. It was a good points day. I'm proud of my team. Big shout out to Clashin. He was a real big factor in how we planned out for our whole race strategy out there throughout the race.
Yeah, I know, knowing Clash, and I know that he wanted to get that third straight win, but I know you guys look at the bigger picture in that points, and getting those points always kind of even that. I know he wanted that third straight win, but either way, man, congratulations both you guys on a job well done.
Sir, you have a good one.
You too, man. That moves us up to our second place finisher, and that is it's your bro Chase, man. Fought back, got back up and finished in second spot, man. Congratulations, man. Good job.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. So give us a little rundown on that, man. I mean, we saw that, I'm not sure, kind of give us your rundown of your race, man. It looked like you had some issues there at the beginning, man. I don't know if you just had some handling issues or kind of what, but it looks like that you were really fighting your car at the beginning.
No, the 13 put me in the wall during the middle of the first stage. So then in the second stage, he didn't go, and that just got stood back there. And then the third stage, I just rode around there, half throttle and all. I was planning on going with the 7 as soon as he was made his run to go out, but I backed off as soon as he was pulled out to go to back up so we could back up and get a run and go to the lead. And when I backed off, it just had killed me. I was never gonna get back to him to push him, so I just stayed in line. By then I knew I had messed up both of us, so I couldn't really do nothing. So then I just held the yellow line, the 2 tires on the yellow line, and just held it down there to the bottom and just held a half throttle. And pushed the 43 around the track. I didn't want to pass and then pull out the pass on the back straightaway to 43 because then I knew because I knew the 95 and 51 was gonna go together. So I just stayed there and took the second instead of probably taking 5th or 6th. That was about it.
I tell you what, man. I mean, job well done. I mean, really, really good, piece. I mean, it looked like you really, like you're saying, man, you really had your work cut out for you. But to get a second spot, man, I mean, you came into the race, sixth in points. So finishing up second. I can't remember exactly where you got in stage one and stage two, but I mean, finishing second, that's still going to be a great points night for you, man.
Oh yeah, even the stage points killed us. We didn't get no stage points because of the 13, but I mean, a long season ahead of us, so I'm not really worried about it. Just make the playoffs, and we'll start we'll start really going at it from then. Just right now, it's just fuel mode, just racing, having fun, and get to the playoffs. It's strictly business.
You got you got like I said, man, you got the one win under your belt so far this season. I know that you wanted to really get that second win tonight, man, and really impressive how you were able to drive back through the field with all the trouble that you had early in the race, and I mean, you didn't go a lap down or anything, did you? You were just kind of caught in the back.
No, I went 2 laps down, and I fought
Oh,
back.
did you? I was wondering if you did.
Yep, sure did.
Hang on. So how did you get the 2 laps back, being 2 laps down? Was it through the stages, or did you? How
Well,
did?
I got 2 laps to combine. I have got lap down in the first stage, got lucky dog, and the second stage got the same thing happen, got lucky dog.
Okay, so a little bit, quite a bit of luck, man. A little bit of luck goes a long way, man. Congratulations on getting a second, man. That was really impressive to see you fight back and get that second spot, man. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and man, that's gonna take us to our winner, and that is the 43 car of Kill It Like Jason, man. Hey, you got the win, brother. Congratulations, dude. So give us your run, man. Give us the rundown on your race, man. How were you able to get it done? still there? Okay, thought I lost you there. Oh man, well, daggone, dude. I mean, this win definitely couldn't come at a better time for you, man. I mean, you came into the race, 15th in points. So that this definitely really couldn't come out at a better time for you. I know this season hasn't started like you wanted it to, but getting this win, man, I mean that's a lot of momentum to be able to take into next week, don't you say? It's possible. I mean, with all the talent and all the experience and skill with all these drivers that are in here, man. I mean, absolute hats off to you. I mean, where did you finish in stage one and stage two? Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to ask. What exactly brought out that caution there at the end of stage two? Okay. I definitely, so stage three, you kind of start. So where did you start in stage three? Oh wow, man, to, man, that's just awesome, man. And one other thing I wanted to just ask real quick is the fuel issue because you got up there and you led the last part of the race and gotten a win. Was fuel an issue for you at all, or would you have plenty left, or when you got out front, were you looking kind of burning more fuel obviously out front than being in the draft? Was fuel any kind of an issue for you at all? Congratulations on getting your first win, man, of the season. Definitely hats off to you and job well done. Gonna let you go and celebrate and enjoy it. And we'll see you next week, man. Congratulations, dude, on getting the win. Well, Rowdy, man, what a heck of a race, dude. That was a tremendous race that we just saw tonight. Oh man, I tell you what, that these guys put on a show each and every single Wednesday, man. I can't wait till next week. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but I'm trying to bring up the schedule to see where we're at next week. Next week, let's see. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but man, I tell you what, man, I I had a blast up here being in the booth with you, man. Hopefully, get to call a couple more races with you, man. I had an awesome time up here with you, man. Usually we're the IRR, in race reporters, So it was, I just had a lot of fun being able to call the race up here with you tonight, my friend. Definitely, brother. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week. Next week we're at Watkins Glen. Finally found the schedule. Next week we are at Watkins Glen. So these guys, they are going to take it to the road up at the Glen, man. So I tell you what, everything changes at Daytona, and everything changes even more on a road course. So everybody, man, tune in next week for Valor Racing League. These guys, man, they put on a show every Wednesday, and we will see everybody next Wednesday night at Watkins Glen. For Rowdy Time, I'm Shady Acres. We will see everybody next week. Everybody have a wonderful night.